Well, Michael Carrick has been at the helm since January, and in that time, Manchester United has earned big wins over Manchester City, Arsenal, Liverpool, and Chelsea. They did end their season on a 6-match unbeaten streak that helps them finish third in the Premier League and clinch a Champions League spot. So before we dive into this upcoming year, Lahoud, what areas do you think that you saw Michael Carrick address or fix in this squad that saw them turn things around and end the season on a positive note?
Yeah, look, I know that at the time there were mixed feelings on this show, at this network, about Ruben Amorim's departure, but the numbers truly did not lie. In his last 7 matches as Manchester United manager in the Premier League, United only won 1 match. And so when you look at some of the teams that were in and around the relegation zone, drawing to a West Ham, it's just not good enough, right? And being 7th place, that was kind of papering over some of the cracks there. But when Michael Carrick came in, I just thought he simplified things, simplifying it to a back 4. And there were different times watching United that playing in this 3-4-3 system with Amorim, it looked like there was a lot of confusion. It looked like every single player, maybe not Matthijs de Ligt because he actually looked comfortable, but players were almost thinking a bit too much. Am I in the right place? Should I be moving this way? Rather than just playing with a sense of freedom. Number 2 was just rebuilding a sense of confidence, especially in midfield and in the final third. You really saw it with just the uptick of goals. You really saw it with some of the character-defining displays against some of the teams we put up there. I mean, to go to the Emirates and go down a goal against Arsenal, a team that typically does not give away games and points once they take the lead at the Emirates, and then win that game with some of the world-class goals that we saw, insane. But the biggest things that he did was in the midfield. It has to be said, bringing back Kobbie Mainoo from the dark, bringing them back into the team when Ruben Amorim kept making up decisions about why he was leaving them out. It was an application or lack thereof in training. That was a big boost, but the man that wears the captain's armband, Bruno Fernandes, you remember where he was playing? He was playing as a deep-lying playmaker. He was playing as a defensive midfielder under Ruben Amorim, and we didn't see the best of Bruno Fernandes. Well, Michael Carrick gave him a sense of responsibility, built the team around him in the ways that this team was meant to be built, and you just saw Bruno Fernandes get assist and big game moments after big game moments in the Premier League. And you also have to give a big shout-out, Geoff, to your main man, H. H stepped up big time, leading the back line, but moving Bruno Fernandes up to that attacking midfield position, it changed everything for United and the United ceiling.
I agree with you what you say, how he changed midfield, but why do you think the majority of the money he's spent so far has been in midfield? I know Casemiro has gone.
Yeah, look, it's a profile of what United were missing still. When you look at what Casemiro gives, it's having someone who's a tough tackler. And you really saw the best of Casemiro when the play was in front, when United would go and press. You saw the worst of him at different times when they get exposed at different times. They still got the results in transition. I think getting younger, getting a player like Andre Santos is a big boost because you need to get someone who's more mobile. And yes, he still has to prove himself a bit in the Premier League, but he is a Premier League player.
Oh, he's a good player.
And he's a good player, right? He's having a good preseason. So they addressed some of that hole in the midfield. But the big thing is, I still think they need a tough tackling midfielder because they're playing on multiple fronts. It's just not Premier League matches. It's a Champions League as well. Yeah.
Do you think that they have addressed the midfield issue enough in this transfer window, or do you think they at least have enough to get the job done until maybe the January transfer window?
It's going to be interesting to see what they do in the market. Like I said, I still think that they need to go out and spend to get 1 or 2 more bodies, the midfield in particular, because Andre Santos can get the job done in the Premier League. I don't think if they were to go to Real Madrid, if they were to go to the Parc des Princes, Andre Santos, although he is experienced playing against PSG, I don't think that's the caliber and level of a player that is going to be able to deal with that PSG midfield 3. I mean, they might get eaten alive in that. But when you look at what they've invested as well, Yuri Tillemans coming in, that is such rich experience where he can play as a deep-lying playmaker. Ultimately, Michael Carrick may even not need someone who's a tough tackling midfielder. We've seen it where if you are someone, and I remember this, a coach taught me this, a manager taught me this, midfielders, and especially defensive midfielders, you can't replace someone who reads the game. You see with someone like a Rodri who does it at the highest level. I'd much rather have someone positionally who's aware. That is worth its weight in gold more than someone who just runs like a chicken with its head cut off for 90 minutes. So I think getting someone with a high IQ is going to be huge.
I think that you mentioned the simplification of the football when Michael Carrick arrived, and going to a formation that wasn't trying to fit a square peg in a round hole, which is what I felt Ruben Amorim was doing with this team. Even with with the teams, he had transfer windows to get the players he wanted if he wanted to play this formation, and it didn't work out. So I think it was perfect for Michael Carrick to come in and simplify things. But now, with European football, playing devil's advocate, does he have the creativity as a manager to adjust in different games, to play a bit differently when he needs to, when he's on the road, like you said, if he's at the Parc des Princes against PSG, or he is at the Bernabeu against Real Madrid, or however it may be? Does he have that creativity as a manager to adjust and get this team to play in different ways rather than just what he put out on the pitch last season in the Premier League to get them across the line and get them back into European football?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, Geoff, you've spent time in and around him as a player, and you've seen his development as a manager. What do you see as a strength of his in season 2, his first full season with United?
He's like that. He never, ever panics. It's like he was as a player. You give him the ball in any position, and I think the way he played the game, so he was a fantastic, top draw footballer. I think he manages in the same way, never panics, never gets too excited, equally never gets too down. So I think he's a deep thinking person, and I think that he will have gone away at the end of last season. He'll know as well. Taking over from Ruben Amorim was almost not a free hit. You don't get a free hit when you're in charge of Manchester United, but there really was only one way they could go, realistically. And he did a very, very good job, and he deserved to get the job as well. So he now knows the pressure's on. They've qualified for the Champions League, and he'll have gone to the owners and said, right, we need to spend. We need reinforcements. If you want us to maintain where we are, if you want us to be in the Champions League next season, courtesy of the Premier League, we need reinforcements. And, of course, it's who to let go as well.
Where else do they need reinforcements? Because it feels like the job's not done yet. I feel like that's definitely something that we hear maybe negatively or critically about this Manchester United side, is some Man U fans feel like not enough has been done for the reinforcements of this team, as they will now be playing a lot more games this season.
I think the centre-forward position is an interesting one. Šeško is still, for me, a work in progress. There were signs of improvement. But again, going back to that same thing, Claudia, when you've been so bad and you start winning a few games, it's great. And you're only playing once a week as well. There's a lot less pressure. Can he, when he needs to deliver week in, week out, twice a week, can he deliver? I think it's fair to put a question mark on that. Xerxes, he's actually surprised me because he's been better than I thought, but he's not an out-and-out 9, is he? He's not going to lead the line. I think that needs strengthening there. And then, I mean, they've got injuries at the back already, as we know. Yep. So it's what else they do there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the back line. That's the biggest one that I see playing on multiple fronts. You mentioned injuries at the back. Lisandro Martinez picked up an injury. You still don't know how long he's going to be out for, and there's reports saying that it may not be as long as it looked after the World Cup. But we've said that before with him. Yeah. We've said that before, and he's missed months upon months. Matthijs de Ligt had back surgery. So those are two center halves that you're down now. But the big player I'm looking at, especially out wide, Luke Shaw. We've seen Luke Shaw's injury track record before. Last season looked like an anomaly, Geoff. Yeah. It looked like an anomaly, and I think that was courtesy of playing one game a week in the Premier League, or most times just having one competition to focus on. Yeah. So you need to get reinforcements, I think, especially the fullback position.
We saw there on that chart, on the depth chart there, Marcus Rashford. Obviously now, how do you envision him if he decides to stay, if he decides to stay at the club? What could he bring to this United side? And do you think he should stay? And as a Manchester United fan, I would have to think that just from a depth standpoint, he is a player that you want to have back at Old Trafford. Now, does he want to be there? How do you feel about it?
Yeah, look, this is a tricky one. In terms of quality, when Marcus Rashford is on it, I mean, he proved it at Villa, he proved it at Barcelona, and he actually has looked like the application has been there. He will get his goals. You look at the loan at Barcelona, it was a successful loan. He was very pivotal in Barcelona winning the league. You think of the injuries to Rafinha, you think of the time missed by Lamine Yamal, some of the attackers. He came up in that title-deciding match for Barcelona. He came up massively, scoring a decisive goal in that match. Now, the question is not so much with Michael Carrick, But the question that I see is, where will Manchester United fans really see the line between taking him back in? Marcus Rashford, the biggest thing he'll have to prove is not just to himself, not just to the manager, but I think he's going to have to prove himself to United fans, because they know that there's quality there. But at different times, the doubt has been, does he have the application to just run back 10 yards, to show that he wants to play for the club, to show that he wants to play for the badge and do the dirty work? United fans, if he doesn't show that in the first couple matches, I could see them turning on him.
Do you think he wants to be back at the club? I mean, I'm not sure what the other options are, because he's got a big money contract, so who's going to pick it up?
Honestly, there's only one person that can answer that question. It's an interesting challenge for Michael Carrick, because you put yourself in Michael Carrick's position. Does he rate Marcus Rashford as a player? Probably. Yeah. Does he think Marcus Rashford could do a good job for Manchester United? Probably. Does he think he can turn Marcus Rashford around to want to stay at the club? He already might have made his own assessment. So there's quite a few unknowns here. I don't think it'll be a problem with the fans. I think if Michael Carrick persuades or Marcus Rashford accepts that there isn't actually any other option at the moment, you can only make a choice when you've got a choice. No club's come in for him. He hasn't got a choice. He's got to turn up and he's got to play. And if he throws himself into it, he'll play well because he's a good footballer. He'll score goals because he's a good footballer. The fans will love him. That'll all quickly be forgotten.
Yeah. I feel like from where United has been in the last several seasons, I don't think fans should be knocking Marcus Rashford coming back into the team. I understand they're a prideful fan base and supporters, but, I mean, he is a player that will add to this team, especially being in Europe.
My point is, in theory, we're talking about if he applies himself. Right? If he applies himself.
But he'll only apply himself if mentally he's in the right place.
Yeah.
And he'll only... I think once he says, I can't foresee a scenario... he's a professional footballer. I can't foresee a scenario where he comes back, puts on a United shirt and doesn't give it his all. Even if he's playing for a move elsewhere. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know what's in Marcus Rashford's mind. But I think once he says, OK, this is it, I'll commit and I'll do well. But he's got to get over the fact that the Barcelona move didn't happen.
Yeah.
He's got to get over not being able to live in Barcelona anymore.
Yeah.
I think that's tough. Did you put a checklist for us?
Yes,
You want to run through that very quick to see what we can look forward to and what Michael Carrick will need to do?
Look, this is an exciting time for Manchester United because they're back in the Champions League. And I think for Michael Carrick, look, I know there's a lot of optimism amongst United fans, but the big thing is, can you be consistent in terms of getting back to the Champions League through this season? Getting a Champions League spot, that would be success for United. So to do these three things would be gold and a long way in getting there. Number 1 through 3, somewhere in there. I talked about maintaining health of players, but look at the midfield for me. Having a midfield identity, having an identity with this team. We saw a change in identity, switching from a back 3 to a back 4, and we saw the change of Bruno Fernandes pushing higher up the field. There is still a sense of unknown in how Manchester United are going to play and deploy the likes of Yuri Tielemans when he's fit and healthy. Kobe Mainoo coming back from a back injury. Is it going to be Andre Santos and Kobe Mainoo? Is it going to be Yuri Tielemans and Kobe Mainoo? Is it going to be, Bruno Fernandes is going to play. So having this sense of identity, a healthy Luke Shaw is a benefit to Manchester United. If you look back at the success and getting into the Champions League seasons for United, Luke Shaw playing 30-something games has been a part of that. It has been a part of success for United. He was one of their unsung heroes last season. And I know he didn't make the England squad, and I don't think he should have made the England squad, but being healthy is a big boost. He has a load of experience, and I think there's a bit of a turnaround in how people view Luke Shaw. The last thing, and Geoff, you touched on this, is Benjamin Šeško. We need to see the next iteration and a fully fit Benjamin Šeško, a fully confident Benjamin Šeško, and a fully goal-scoring Benjamin Šeško.
But would you go into the season gambling on that?
No, you don't have to.
No, would you go balls deep to get a top number 9?
When you have Šeško right now? No. I believe.
Is that not a gamble?
I think it's a gamble worth taking. We talk about the competition they're playing in the UEFA Champions League. Brian Mbeumo never played in it, right? Matheus Cunha had experience playing in it. has had less goals than Benjamin Šeško playing in it. So Šeško is going back to a competition that he's already had success in, and he was probably the only positive thing that came out of it for Leipzig in this time in the Bundesliga.
Yeah, Mikey, I just think there's a difference when it's Manchester United, week in, week out. Big
Not buying
difference. No, it could happen. Stefano, are you with me?
I agree. I think there's a question mark around Šeško. I mean, you said it, right? You want to see him continue to develop. You need that 2.0.
Yeah.
You're going into the season relying on him to become Benjamin Šeško 2.0. And I don't, it's a big risk, I think, to not have some more backup, another player, another center forward there in case things do go wrong with Benjamin Šeško.